Welcome to Desi in Wonderland, and today I'm your host Shaun, and we're going to be speaking about looking for jobs in Germany.
Hey,
And
Shaun, what are you doing? This is the world of YouTube. You're from the world of podcast.
it,
Please let me host this thing.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean I can't host a YouTube show, right?
You can host it, but like in your podcast, I didn't say anything. Now it's just my turn.
All right,
Please.
it's your show, Gibran. It's your show.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
on as a guest.
Yes, thank you for coming. And so this is our second collaboration.
Yes, it is.
Yes, in the first collaboration, we talked about how Germany changed us. It was a fun talk with you, and like you shared your experience, how coming from the South African culture, Germany changed you, and
Yeah.
I talked about how Germany changed me coming from the Pakistani culture.
Yeah, it was such a great
So,
episode.
Yes.
So much fun.
So I think if you guys want to listen to that episode, you can find that in the description. But today, Shaun is with me to discuss something else. But before we jump into the topics, Shaun, just introduce yourself a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm, as you said, from South Africa originally. My name is Shaun. I'm the host of a podcast called The Germany Experience. And I've been in Germany now for 13 years, so quite a while.
Wow.
And I work in content marketing right now. And yeah, it was quite a big task to come here to Germany and to find a job. And I've had the experience of being a job seeker 3 times in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think you have more experience than me because I actually have experience in job hunting for students, but not as a full-time employee because
Right.
after my master's, I got the job in the same company where I wrote my thesis. So I'd never been in this job hunting phase. So
Yeah.
I think you are the perfect person to discuss about this job hunting thing. So do you have any tips?
I
would
do.
say.
I do have some. I have several tips, but these are, Gibran, just from my personal experience. So I don't know. It's not
Mhm.
going to be the same for everybody, but I think a lot of the things that I did go through and some of the advice that I do have will apply to a lot of people that are looking for jobs. And so I'll start off with perhaps one of the most important things that I learned, and one of the most important things that I can tell other people who are looking for jobs in Germany as foreigners. Just keep trying, because what happens is when you start off, you are sending out application after application, and they're just disappearing into the void, and you don't know if anyone's reading them. You don't even get rejections, Gibran. You just hear nothing. So I would prefer rejections sometimes.
Okay.
But just keep trying, because when I was looking for my first job in Germany, I sent out many job applications, heard nothing. And then after 4 months, when I was starting to get a little desperate, I heard back from the company that I worked with for the first time in Germany. And that turned into an interview, and it turned into a job. So you just have to keep on trying.
So it's like just keep swimming. It's like just keep trying. Just keep trying.
Just keep, even when it feels like you're going nowhere, just keep doing it.
Okay.
The next bit of advice is, if a job requires, and a lot of these do in Germany, if they say in the job specification they need German and English. So fluent German, fluent English. And when I was
Okay.
looking for my first job in Germany, I certainly did not have fluent German. So there was one job specification that I left on my desk until it expired, like the apply by date passed. And I still hadn't applied for it because it said they wanted fluent German. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And eventually I was so desperate that I just said,
Okay.
hey, you know what? I'll send it to that one.
Okay. Actually, that's a good approach, because the thing is, like, you never know. Maybe
You never know.
you might be the one for them.
Exactly. So what happened in my case was I applied for that job, and within 2 days, this was the job that I got. They got back to me, even though I had said I'd been honest in my application of the level of my level of German. It was like really beginner's level. And they got back
Okay.
to me and they said, yeah, let's have an interview. So as it turned out, they were just, it was, they wanted a German native speaker, but it was okay. I had enough skills and enough advantages that they would go for me, regardless of my German level. So just apply. You never know. The worst is that you just won't hear from them. That's the worst.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe they suppose it could be happen like you are perfect for the job, and they will going to say that, okay, I will going to teach you German. So by the time, I think in 1 or 2 years, you might be good in German, and for them it's fine.
Exactly. And that brings me on to my next point, is that you must be willing to show them that you're willing to learn German. That's a big thing. So even if your German is not great, show them that you're wanting to learn and that you can learn. So if you've just started learning, do a couple of A1 courses, get your German up to a level. Even though you're not conversational level yet, you can still go to them and say, hey, look, this is what I've done so far, and I'm pretty good at it. I've only been learning it so far, and this is how well I can talk. So just be willing to show that you are willing to learn the language, I think is a big tip.
Yes.
So what else do I have? I also got a big thing is that when you send off your CV is kind of static. You don't change the CV too much unless you realize that something's wrong here and there. But generally what you need is a good cover letter. And that cover letter needs to be tailored specifically for the job that you're applying for. So if the job is asking for certain skills, make sure that you highlight those skills in your cover letter. So do not copy and paste your cover letter from one company to another. Make sure you are directing it directly at that job specification for that.
And also, I think it would be nice to don't write this like respected sir/madam. It's like if there is a name, just write the name of the person as well.
Exactly. Yeah. If you got a name that you can get onto, then definitely do that.
I think just one thing from my side, like when I was actually hunting for like an internship when I was a student, I have actually 3 CVs, different CVs, and that is different. Everything is a bit different in those CVs.
Yes.
Like it's not like I don't have those experiences in other CVs. It's just like I made 3 different CVs, so I can send it. If one job is perfect for that CV, then I choose variant 1, variant 2, and variant 3. It depends. Yeah. So you can also do that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's important to be able to highlight different aspects of your experience depending on the kind of job or the company that you're applying to. So, it's it is good to have those options. Another thing that I did in the beginning and also later on when I was looking, because I looked for a job right at the beginning, and then I think 9 years later I looked for my second job in Germany. And the one thing that I was doing was targeting big international companies. This sounds like a no-brainer, but it's definitely an option for foreigners because those big international companies quite often have English as their language. And not everyone is an English native speaker, but almost everyone can speak English at least as a second language.
Yes.
And also those big international companies often have operations in different countries. So if let's say you're an Italian speaker and a company in Germany has they're selling in Italy as well, then there might be roles for regional marketing, for example, to the Italian market or whatever. So there are a lot of options that you can look at the big international companies.
So then in that case, you are kind of a bridge for that company, because then you can speak the native language of the regional offices, so you can actually talk to them and and you also understand how people from your country works in their country, so you can actually help your company. Yes.
Yeah. And I have a lot of colleagues who did that. I know I've met a lot of people over the years who are working in these big international companies doing exactly that, the bridge between Germany and their country that they are originally from.
And then it might be the good case, because then they sent you to your country on company's money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Win-win,
perfect
people.
Job.
Win-win.
Yes.
Right. So that's one thing. And then the next thing is, and this is quite big in Germany, you have to have a LinkedIn and a Xing profile. Now, these are social media accounts for professionals, and almost every single German company that I've applied at had a look at either LinkedIn or Xing. So it is absolutely essential that you have one of those. This is not the time when you're looking for your job to say, I hate social media. It's like, no, you want to get the job? Have one of those accounts. Very important. Delete it afterwards if you want to, but you need to have those social media accounts.
Actually, one of my friends found a job from Xing, because he got many recruiters actually contacted him and said your profile actually perfectly matched with our job post. Yeah. So do you want to apply or something like that? So it's actually a good thing to do.
There you go.
Because maybe you don't find any job post, but a recruiter find you.
Yeah. It's important to have your skills listed on those sites, because then you, as you say, Gibran, then you can get headhunted by companies. It's just, you just have to have one of those two, both of those accounts, not one of them.
And there is no harm. Actually, you can also link your Xing profile with your CV as well. Like there is a hyperlink you can press that will take your HR person to your profile as well.
Exactly.
So it's fine.
Exactly. So and like you said, it doesn't hurt. I mean, you're giving your data away. Screw it.
Yes.
Giving your data away to find a job, it's fine.
Yeah, actually you need it. You need the job.
You need the job more than they need your data. I'm going to say that.
Yes.
The next point that I had was, when you are applying for a job, The temptation might be to exaggerate and be over the top and say, oh, I'm the best at this and I'm the coolest and whatever. But the truth is, the Germans, first of all, don't like that kind of exaggeration. And secondly, I think it's far more important to be honest and realistic in what you are telling them that you can do. So if you have a certain skill set, be honest about it without exaggerating. Say, I am very adept at this and this. I'm very good at this. But don't say, I am amazing and I did this. Because turn Germans off right away.
Yes. I think this could also backfire, because the thing is, like, suppose you said something in your CV or your covering letter, and once they hire you, you have this probation period. And in this probation period, if you couldn't able to deliver what you mentioned, then they can fire you actually.
Yeah, within the 6-month period, if they decide, exactly. If you said something if you misled them about how proficient you were in your skill set or whatever, they will be able to get rid of you before that 6 months is up. So exactly right, Jebron. So just be open and honest, and they also react more open to it. So the approach that I took at one of the jobs, in fact, the job that I'm at now, I went in there and I said, it was a bit of a career change for me. So it was in marketing and I didn't have much marketing experience. So I wrote in my covering email and I said, I might not, this is why I am a fit for this job. So I gave a whole lot of reasons why I would fit for that role. But then I also had a section saying, this is why I might not fit. And it was things like, I don't have marketing experience, but I can learn. And I don't, and I was just open and honest with what skills I don't have that they were looking for. And I got into the interview, and then it was an open and honest discussion about those skills as well. So not only what I could do, but also what I said I couldn't do and how quickly I could learn those things. So it's being honest is also useful, because you can have an honest discussion and the manager knows what they're getting into, and you know that they know what they're getting into, if that makes sense.
Yes. Because it's also helped you also, like, suppose in a way, like, it's the same, like, suppose if you said, like, you're a master in marketing, and once they send you somewhere and then you messed up your this project or something, then they were going to fire you, man.
Sorry, you're out of there. I hope you had a good 3 months in the company. Exactly.
And this is actually bad for your application as well, because you might be in the company for 3 months and then you get fired. Why? Because you lied. And exactly right. The next company is going to look at that and say, well, what happened here? So just rather don't exaggerate. Just be open and honest. Don't play it down either. If you feel that you're good at things, then be honest about the things that you're good at, but just don't overdo it. Is what I'm saying. One of the other tips that I have is, it surprised me when I got to Germany, is that you should be prepared for a lengthy application process. In South Africa, and I don't know what it's like in Pakistan or other countries, but in South Africa, sometimes you can go for an interview and a week later you'll have the job. And generally, in my experience, that's not the case in Germany. So you apply for the job, you wait a period of time, and then you get an interview. You go for the interview, you wait another period of time, and then you get a second interview. And I've known people who have gone to a third interview as well. With me, it was always 2 interviews. But in my case, for the company I'm working at now, they had what's called a Schnuppertag, where they actually have you come in for a day to the office. So I went for an interview, and then I had a Schnuppertag, and I spent a day with the team in the office, showing them, doing some tasks, showing them that I could do certain things, and meeting the team. This is a good thing, by the way, if a company offers. Yes, actually,
it gives you a chance to also see for yourself: will I like working at this company? Is this something for me? What is the culture like inside there? And then I had a what you could say was a third interview, but it was like officially the second interview, and then I got the job. And that, I think, took a few months, because in between you've got a lot of negotiations and stuff like that. So just be prepared for maybe a lengthier application process time than you.
It's like, I think it's like that, because some of my friends also been to this 3 interviews, and then like mostly the friends I have, they are from the IT background, so they also sometimes get a small task that they have to do and then submit it to show their skills as well. So I think
so. This brings me to my last point, and it's a bit of a tricky one, because it's very difficult to know how your salary translates from your home country to Germany. But what you need to do is, for the interview, have an idea in mind of what salary you're asking for. And it's very difficult, especially if you're new to Germany and you don't understand exactly what you should be. You don't want to undersell yourself. You don't want to oversell yourself. It's very difficult to know what to do, but you need to try and have that figured out before you get into the first interview, because in almost every single interview I've done in Germany, they've asked me
But
what
Shaun-
salary I'm expecting.
But Shaun,
So-
it all depends also on which field you're applying for, or which field you're from. Because if you're from the IT field, you might earn more, and if you are from a different field, then you might earn less. So
Yeah.
it all depends.
Yeah, and it's difficult to know, but it will help to speak to people around you, people in similar jobs, ask them what they're earning,
Mhm.
and also go online. Although you can't always trust online forums, but you can kind of pose the question there and see what people say, and also just try and get a general feel of what should be expected in that area. And my experience is that you know pretty soon after you've said it in the interview if
Yes.
they're horrified or not.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. But I would recommend in this perspective, like because for the internationals, there's a BlueCard offer in Germany. That if you earn a certain salary, then you can actually get a BlueCard. So I would suggest make that amount your minimum salary. I already made a video about it. I will put that link in the
Right.
description,
Right.
so guys can see that, and then you will know the salary requirement. And it also depends on where you're working. If you're working in the south of Germany or the eastern part of Germany, it all depends.
East is different, yeah. East is different. That's why I say just try and get an idea from the people around you, trusted friends that are living there for a while. Just throw them some figures out and see, what it is. But it's a difficult one. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's it. Those are my tips.
Wow. Thank you, Shaun, for giving your valuable tips. I think it might help some people to find their jobs and give a clear idea how they should approach. Can you tell a bit about your podcast now?
Yeah. So my podcast is called The Germany Experience. People can find it at thegermanyexperience.de or on any of the podcast platforms where you listen to podcasts. And basically, I speak to foreigners like you, Gibran, every week, getting their story or speaking to them about a unique aspect of life in Germany. Just getting whole different perspectives from different cultures, how people have reacted to living in Germany and what their life is like living in Germany.
Mhm.
So yeah, thegermanyexperience.de is where you can find me.
Yes. So I think it is a perfect opportunity for the people like who actually spend hours in commuting. So you can hear Shaun's podcast.
Yes, and if any of your viewers,
Mhm,
Gibran, are
mhm.
interested in being a guest on the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
then please get in touch with me as well. Get in touch with me through the website. There's a link beyond the show,
Mm-hmm.
or they can email me at info@thegermanyexperience.de and say, hey, I want to be a guest. I can't guarantee that you will be a guest, but
Mhm.
just approach me and make me a pitch.
So it's like there is no harm in writing.
No harm in asking. I can just ignore you.
Yes. Thank you, Shaun, again for coming
And thank
sharing
you
your
for having me,
tips.
Gibran.
Yes.
Oh, and subscribe to the
subscribe.
channel.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel.
And press that thing.
And click the
Press
little
that
alarm bell.
alarm bell. Yes,
bell.
thank
Click
you.
it.
Thank
Get
you.
updates from Gibran. Click it.